Hey there, Ruthhaven Grounds family. Today I'm sharing one of my absolute favorite composting secrets that's honestly transformed my garden into the thriving paradise it is today. If you've been following along on the channel, you know I'm all about working smarter, not harder, and cow dung composting is the perfect example of nature doing the heavy lifting for us. I'll be honest with you, when I first started gardening, the idea of working with cow manure felt intimidating. But once I discovered how incredibly easy and effective it is for creating nutrient-rich compost, I never looked back. This black gold has become my go-to soil amendment, and I'm excited to walk you through the simplest method that actually works. Before we dive into the how-to, let me tell you why cow dung deserves a special place in your composting routine. Unlike many other animal manures, cow dung is already partially digested plant material, which means it breaks down faster and more easily. The microbial activity in cow dung is phenomenal. It's literally teeming with beneficial bacteria that jumpstart the decomposition process. What really sets cow dung apart is its balanced nutrient profile. It contains a healthy mix of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, along with essential micronutrients that your plants crave. Plus, it has an excellent carbon-to-nitrogen ratio that creates ideal composting conditions without requiring you to be a mathematician calculating ratios all day long. The moisture content in fresh cow dung is another hidden advantage. It's naturally moist enough to support microbial activity, but not so wet that it becomes anaerobic and smelly. This makes your composting journey so much more pleasant and successful from day one. The first step in your cow dung composting adventure is finding a reliable source. If you live in a rural area like I do, this might be as simple as connecting with a local dairy farmer. I've found that most farmers are happy to let you haul away manure. You're actually doing them a favor by removing it from their property. For my urban and suburban gardening friends, don't worry. Check out local farms that offer farm tours or farm stays. Many of these places bag cow manure and sell it for a nominal fee. You can also connect with community gardens in your area, as they often have relationships with farms and might even organize bulk pickups. When you're sourcing cow dung, try to verify that the cows haven't been treated with persistent herbicides or antibiotics recently. These chemicals can survive the composting process and potentially harm your plants. Organic farms are your best bet, but even conventional farms can work if you ask the right questions about their practices. Now, let's get to what you really came here for. The easiest way to turn that cow dung into garden gold. I'm going to share the method I've refined over years of trial and error, and trust me, this approach minimizes work while maximizing results. Find a spot in your yard that's partially shaded and has good drainage. You don't want standing water, but you also don't want your pile baking in full sun all day. I like to place mine near my garden bed so the finished compost doesn't have far to travel. Start by laying down a base layer of coarse materials like small branches or wood chips. This creates air pockets at the bottom and improves drainage. Make this layer about 6 inches thick. It's the foundation that prevents your pile from becoming a soggy, smelly mess. Here's where the magic happens. Begin with a layer of cow dung about 4 to 6 inches thick. Fresh cow dung works great, but aged dung that's been sitting for a few weeks is even better because it's already started decomposing. Next, add a layer of carbon-rich brown materials. I use dry leaves, straw, or shredded newspaper, whatever I have on hand. This layer should be roughly equal in thickness to your cow dung layer. The browns balance the nitrogen-rich cow dung and prevent your pile from becoming too wet and compacted. Then add a thin layer of garden soil or finished compost if you have it. This introduces beneficial microorganisms that accelerate decomposition. Just a 1-inch layer does the trick. You're essentially inoculating your pile with composting superheroes. Continue alternating these layers until your pile is about 3 to 4 feet high. I've found this height maintains good temperature without becoming unmanageable. If you're working with limited space, even a smaller pile works. It just takes a bit longer to heat up. Your compost pile should feel like a wrung-out sponge. When you squeeze a handful, a few drops of water should come out, but it shouldn't be dripping wet. Cow dung usually provides adequate moisture, but check your pile weekly, especially during hot weather. If it's too dry, give it a thorough watering with a hose. If it's too wet, mix in more brown materials. I keep a bag of dry leaves near my pile for exactly this purpose. It's my emergency moisture absorption kit. Here's the part that makes this method truly easy. You only need to turn your pile once every 2 to 3 weeks. I know some composting guides recommend turning every few days, but honestly, that's overkill for cow dung compost. When you do turn it, use a pitchfork to move the outer materials toward the center and the center materials toward the edges. This ensures everything gets exposed to the hot composting zone where decomposition happens fastest. The whole process takes me about 15 minutes per pile. One of the most common questions I get on the channel is how to tell when compost is finished. With cow dung compost, you're looking for a dark, crumbly material that smells earthy, like a forest floor after rain. The original materials should be unrecognizable, and the texture should be uniform throughout. This typically takes 3 to 6 months depending on your climate and how actively you manage the pile. In warmer months, I've had compost ready in as little as 8 weeks. Patience is key here, but I promise, the wait is worth it. You can do a simple germination test if you're unsure. Plant some fast-growing seeds like radishes in a pot with your compost mixed into soil. If they sprout and grow normally within a week, your compost is ready to use. Once your cow dung compost is ready, the fun really begins. I use it as a top dressing around established plants, mixing it into the soil before planting, and as a component in my potting mixes. For vegetable gardens, I work about 2 to 3 inches into the top 6 inches of soil. The beauty of this compost is its versatility. I've used it successfully with everything from tomatoes and peppers to roses and perennials. The slow-release nutrients feed your plants steadily throughout the growing season. And the organic matter improves soil structure, water retention, and drainage all at once. Making cow dung compost really is this straightforward, fellow gardeners. You're layering materials, keeping them moist, giving them an occasional turn, and letting nature do what it does best. There's no need for expensive activators, complicated recipes, or constant monitoring. The transformation in your garden will speak for itself. Your plants will grow more vigorously, produce more abundantly, and develop stronger resistance to pests and diseases. You'll see earthworms multiplying in your soil, and the overall health of your garden ecosystem will reach new heights. If this guide helped you feel confident about starting your cow dung composting journey, do me a favor and subscribe to Ruth Haven Grounds for more practical gardening wisdom. Share this with a fellow gardener who's been asking about natural fertilizers. Let's grow this community of sustainable gardeners together. Drop a comment below and let me know how your composting adventures go. Happy gardening, friends!